Chapter 7. The Fall of the Wizard's Order.
You must learn the incantations by heart before you cast the spell. You are trying to run before you can walk,
the old elven wizard said to Jackon. Paulus and the other students were in the great hall as the wizard continued to rant at the student. Jackon Caladan was the student's name, and he was a very gifted but impatient novice wizard. Paulus tried in vain to befriend the man, but Jackon was a difficult person to get along with. Jackon even joked, "I don't do friends. Pencils are the best friends you can have. Once you have used them, bin them, chuck them." And then he would walk off laughing. He always behaved as if he was privy to some hidden knowledge, with his sly smiles and his shifty eyes. Luckily for Paulus, he had plenty of friends, including the two Niges, Nige Prate and Nige Gozalin, or Gozer for short, and Gozer was a real joker, always quick-witted and fun. Nige Prate was sturdy and reliable, and they were the best friends anyone could have. Paulus's time at the Wizard's University was well spent. It was situated in the Grey Mountains, a place of great halls and high turreted towers. It had been the training ground for wizards for 1,000 years. Paulus was completing his studies and practical casting to the satisfaction of his teachers. One teacher especially made a significant impression on Paulus, a tall elf with red hair called Lyriel Robinsaw. The elf teacher had become a mentor to Paulus for a while, until he left the university for pastures new. Paulus still missed his old mentor and tried with the best of his ability to carry on with the teachings that Lyriel had taught him. Paulus was broken out of his reverie by the shouting of Jackon. The argument had deteriorated badly between the student and teacher, until the guards were called in, and Jackon was taken away, and later that day he was expelled, the university finally having enough of his impatient behaviour. When the university fell, Paulus and Nige Prate were in the fields foraging for herbs for potions, when the rumbling of an earthquake was heard. When Paulus looked to the university, the whole massive complex exploded from the inside, spewing black smoke and purple fire into the air. And between the crumbling turrets waved giant black tentacles, hundreds of feet high. It was as if a dark volcano had erupted within the university and released a gigantic black tentacled monster. Paulus and the other students ran to the crumbled gates of the university to help, but were fought back by an array of horrific creatures. Hordes of orcs, ogres and other fell beasts spewed forth from the darkness and overwhelmed the students and teachers. All the survivors could do was to run as the old guard of wizards fought the beasts in vain. Paulus ran, and when he looked behind, the tall mountain towering above the old university, exploding, causing a massive landslide, which completely covered the black monster and the university building. Paulus figured that the old wizards chose to contain the dark beast, forfeiting their lives in the process. Very few wizards escaped that day, and many of his friends, including Gozer, were lost, as well as the collected celestial knowledge thousands of years old. All gone forever. Paulus had vowed that day to fight this darkness wherever it lay. He felt a strong sense of guilt, believing that the magic he was taught had unknowingly brought darkness into the world. "A flipping lass, right, there she is. I hope there's tea flipping hot, right?" said Nikolai as they turned the corner and saw the sign for the White Hart Coaching Inn. Paulus was broken from his thoughts and jumped off his horse as they came into the courtyard. A stable boy took the reins of Paulus and Nikolai's horses, and Nikolai flicked him a silver shilling. "Cheers, mister," the boy said, as he led the horses into the stable. The adventurers walked into the warm, inviting inn and ordered food and lodgings for the night. The inn was very busy, with travellers and traders passing through, so Paulus and Nikolai decided to have an early night. Tomorrow was going to be a busy day, now that they had reached the borders of Rugelum.